Hello! Welcome back, everybody. This is my weekly manga log, first week of April, and I ain't even fooling. Get it? Anyways, so as always, there's going to be spoilers for these manga here. If you have not read them, you probably should read them, especially this one. Before you go, definitely check out My Status as an Assassin. Obviously exceeds the hero. This was a pretty big surprise. I didn't expect that it was going to be that great. It was amazing. The literal only reason I picked it up was because this cat looked like my cat. So glad I picked up a manga for such a stupid reason. Anyways, on to the works. So, I just read Orient actually like a few minutes ago. Orient's by the same creator of Magi, or Magai, or Mogi, however you want to call it. And it's pretty much a mix of Demon Slayer and, oddly enough, Vagabond. It follows the same characters that are followed in Vagabond, Musashi and Sojiro Koji. Here you can see Musashi and Sojiro. It's Kojiro. Jeez, Kanamaki. So Sojiro, I keep calling him Sojiro. Kojiro! Man, where did I know a Sojiro from? Anyways, Musashi and Kojiro, their dream is to become samurai and defeat the evil demons. That's where the Demon Slayer part kind of comes in. The Samurai Vagabond part comes from their names. And the fact that they're based on real people. In any case, Musashi ends up being a miner as he gets a little bit older. And Kojiro ends up just kind of being like a punk who hates life. So they don't really do a very good job in following through with their dreams. However, as you graduate from miner school, you end up being transported to the gods realm. But they know that the gods are actually demons because Kojiro's dad told him so. Kojiro is a descendant of samurai, and Musashi grew up hearing about all of his stories, so he wanted to become a samurai after hearing that. In any case, I feel like the art is really cool. I thought that they defeated the Demon King, or the Demon Lord, super easy, but I was glad to find out he wasn't actually dead. That way we could see more of it. But I just want to find this scene right here where he turns into the Demon Lord. It's pretty good art, actually. So it's by the same creator of Magi, so I guess I should expect that. But still, always good to see. We also get cool motorcycles that they ride, which I didn't even really know about at all before reading this. But their motorcycles, they call them the Demon Steed. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. It's hard to find pictures, you know. But in any case, it seems like the samurai all ride these motorcycles. So that was really cool. Just to see. There you go. There's the picture of the motorcycle. But it seems like the demons have to eat this metal in order to turn into the demon god. You can see Musashi, when he does a pose, it has the samurai behind him doing the correct pose. I'm not sure who that guy is. Hopefully they say it's somebody, but it might just be from a book. Anyways, they end up finding another crew, another samurai bond that helps them take out the Demon Lord, and then they find out that the weakness is actually his horn on his stomach. Musashi gets his kill stolen and he's pissed. So I can't wait to see more about this story. I'm really interested in it. The samurai design is very cool. It reminds me a little bit of Gintama and a little bit of, the other two I said, Vagabond and Demon Slayer. But a much better beginning than Demon Slayer, in my opinion. They also have this advertisement for Beyond the Clouds. I don't know what that is. If anyone does know what that is, let me know, because it looks kind of cool. Next, I read Satoshi Kon's work, and also Momoro Oshi. Oshi, crap, what did he make? He made something that I liked, but I like Satoshi Kon a lot more. Man, it's gonna kill me so hard to not know what the heck he wrote, or what anime he made. Anyway, they are, both interesting because they make anime, and so now that they're making a manga, it's a little bit different, but still pretty amazing how they're able to go into this field and still have something that works out pretty well for them. I just wish I could remember what the heck Oshi did. So, give me a second. That's right, he made Ghost in the Shell. So, Momoro Oshi, Ghost in the Shell, Satoshi Kon, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, that detective anime that I really liked with the pink dog, Paranoia Agent. Those are some of his works. Anyways, this manga is about this disease which turns people into this. They start to lose their minds, go crazy, and see hallucinations. They also grow out wings and things like that, and they die. It's up to these 4 people who are deemed magi, or magai, one of which is a dog, to find the reason of this disease and stop it. That's the dog. His name's, I believe, Bartholomew. He's the coolest. Anyways, this is a really good read. It's very interesting and kind of an interesting take on, well, the pandemic that we're currently in. If it went a different way, you can see this civilization has really devolved. But one of the magi is a girl who's not aging and actually has the disease but is not progressing through it. She's like a timeless child. So they believe that she's going to be the, look at that dog. Holy shit, right? He bit that guy's arm right off. Anyways, they think that she's going to be the source of the cure. So if people are coming after her, and they are also trying to stop the magi because they think that they're going to worsen Seraphim, which is the disease name. So it's an interesting manga, but it doesn't have an ending because Satoshi Kon passed away during it. So it's too bad to not know how it ends, but it still was a really good story. Definitely worth recommending a read, for sure. They believe that Seraphim's actually caused by these birds, but they're not really sure. But like these flocks of birds. So if you guys have ever seen the movie Birds, it's like a really crappy horror anime. I'm a weeb. It's a really crappy horror movie, which is like one of those things where it's so bad it's hilarious. But it's kind of like that if it was actually scary, because it's a scary concept in this manga, which I was like really into. Coming up next, we have the Quintessential Quintuplets, Volume 9. I'm catching up to the part where I don't have any more manga left to read, so that's pretty good. They introduced this character here, Takeda-kun, who seems to be, you know, the rival character for Futaro's studies. So Futaro, of course, used to be #1 student. They showed that he actually wasn't the #1 student last time because he was busy helping out the girls' study. And so this guy comes in, he's like, I can be the best tutor because I was #1. And then, so they have a contest to see who's going to be #1 by using the pre-national practice test as the, you know, battleground. And the main character gets like #3 and Takeda gets like #8. So that was pretty cool. They also go through, all the Quints have to get a job. It finds out that one of the Quints actually is M-A-Y, May. Because May comes to the bakery and orders a cake, and then Nino says like, hold on a second, I know this motherfucker. And so it ends up being Itsuki. Meanwhile, the other Quints are doing their jobs like they're supposed to, besides Itsuki, who has no job. I'm still pretty sure Itsuki's gonna win, but Yotsuba's got this like blindsidedness that I think she might win too. She ends up being class president with Futaro, and so, or class officer. So they're both the 2 class officers for their class, and so she says she's got no interest in Futaro, which is very interesting, since all the other Quints do have some interest in her. So I feel like it might be her just because of that kind of quote-unquote blindsidedness. It's like the most obvious twist in the world, you know, so you can't rule it out. My cat's crying. Can you hear it? There we go. Anyways. But yeah, it ends with Itsuki about to tell Futaro that she is this girl right here. But I totally thought that too. That's the only reason why I think Itsuki might not be the wife, is because if she's her, there's no way they're gonna get married. in my opinion. Okay, what did I read? I also read Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Now, Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer is a 1 and 2 omnibus. It's about this biscuit hammer that's about to crush the world, and this girl right here, who's the princess, who wants to destroy the biscuit hammer, but then, as a twist, wants to destroy the world on her own. So far, this is like really good. This whole manga, like, I felt like could have been a story. These 1 and 2 could have been a whole series on their own, you know, as long as they put the end to it. They meet this guy right here, Noko, and I think his name is Shinosuke. I can't quite exactly remember. There's a lot of Japanese names that have been running through my head lately. Can you guys tell? Anyways, I really liked him a lot. He was super cool. Shinonome Hangatsu, actually. And so you get to kind of see the main character grow through this guy, who's like clearly his idol. Think of like Simone and Kamina, really. He's more Kamina and he's more of asshole, though. He's not really Simone. Simone's like spineless, but this dude's got a spine. He's like ready to kill anybody who like is a threat to the princess. This guy's like intense, and he's super apathetic too. The lizard keeps telling me he's got ice cold veins. But yeah, they have these powers because of their allegiance to the princess and their willingness to stop the Magi. It allows them to use this thing called a boundary, or a domain. And so his domain right here, Hangatsu's domain, is this little cool spear thing. So he calls it domain control heavenly halberd, whereas the main character can make these telekinetic powers, so he can use it to like fly, he can use it to lift things up, stuff like that. But he can only use it for like 4 seconds or something like that. Anyways, they have to defeat these golems because the golems are a threat for the princess, and they're trying to kill the knights. The knights each have a little animal. This guy has a crow, Hangatsu has a dog, and the main character has a lizard. He's the lizard knight. So far, that's pretty much it that we know for their powers. The princess has like high regenerative powers, and also like super strength. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely interested to see more about it, but like this first omnibus 2-in-1 was so good. Like, to be honest with you, I feel like that would have been, that they could have stopped it like right there. Kind of like how Gurren Lagann, when you reach episode 10, right before, or right after that big battle, you're like, damn, this is like, it has like finality feels to it, you know? You know it's not over because there's no closure to the story, but like the way it feels, like it's got that emotion or that atmosphere that things just like could have ended here, and you would have been like, damn, that was good. Even though there's like no ending to it. But yeah, that's kind of like how I got from it. It's like, which is really cool because Gurren Lagann's my favorite anime, like hands down. And so to get vibes of that from here is like super high praise for me anyways. I also read Laid Back Camp. Laid Back Camp is literally just one of those anime, or one of those manga I read to relax. There's not much of a plot other than girls go camping. So they go camping, they go to these several different camping spots, they go to some hot springs, which was really nice. They learn a little bit about cooking too while camping, and some information about tents. You know, this manga is really just a calming, relaxing manga with some nice, relaxing imagery. Never a lot of text on the pages too, so you can read through it pretty fast. Though I recommend taking your time through it because it can just be more relaxing to read through some stuff that way. The characters also have pretty cute, like, little chibi faces when they talk sometimes, or text each other. But yeah, it's just a cool manga to read, just, you know, to relax to. Probably not one I would want to binge through or anything like that. I'm just going to take my time as I read through the other volumes, which I have them all. I read the first one maybe a month or two ago. It's a good read, but like I said, you just want to take your time through this one for sure. Next, we've got Neon Genesis Evangelion by Tony Tezukai, or Tony Tezukai's Neon Genesis Evangelion. This was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get some of the jokes because I think that it's only to the anime. Like, I don't really get this scene right here. I didn't get this scene either because they said that the next time, for the episodes previews for next time were always lies, and I was like, okay, if you say so. But like, you know, there's a bunch of funny jokes in it. and like running gags. Definitely more adult themed, for sure. They call her like like she's like a total slut, and she's always like trying to show off and like strip and things like that. But you know, it's and this is hilarious too. They tried to make the robots look like be the most efficient instead of looking cool, and so they end up like this. They're like, I'm not sure I really like it. And she's like, yeah, but it's gonna reduce cost a lot. It's gonna be very efficient. And so they show them fighting off, and it's like a Power Rangers knockoff. It's pretty funny in my opinion. Anyways, this is, like I said, it's a good read. Definitely funny. There's only the one volume to it. I just read it during my Neon Genesis binge because, well, when else would you read it, right? But definitely a nice way to cap off the series. Next, let's talk about my status as the assassin obviously exceeds the hero. Please read this manga. Nobody's reading this manga. Please read this manga. Everyone talk about this manga. Get down in the comments. I want every comment to be my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the hero. And spread it around to other YouTubers' pages too. Okay? Get it everywhere. Let this manga be known. So essentially what ends up happening is these students end up being sent to another world. Just in the middle of class, they all get taken out. As they're taken out, I don't know what's wrong with my cat. Anyways, as they get taken out, they go and find themselves in this weird place with this guy. He tells them how to use their ability of status, and he's like, touch this crystal orb, and then it'll show everybody what your ability is and what your class is and things like that. But the main character's like, wait a minute, my stats are a lot higher. And then, okay, this guy touches it, and he ends up being class hero. And he's like, wait a minute, like, dude, my stats are mad high compared to the hero. That doesn't make any sense. He's like, something's fucked with my being. So he's an assassin as his class, right? And he's like, that's not right. Like, the assassin should not be so much higher than the hero. So he doesn't touch the crystal ball because he doesn't want everybody to know how strong he is. He's got a few skills that allow him to kind of like become invisible. And he starts to suspect that these people that they ran into as they were summoned here are up to no good. There's these two knights here who are serving the king and the princess, but they also seem to be pretty suspicious of everything going on as well. So at least it lets us know that our hero's kind of like on the right path. Anyways, as the manga keeps going on, we find out more and more of these cool skills. So we've got Divine Sword from the commander here. And we also find out about this thing called the Labyrinth. The Labyrinth is where these guys tend to train here as a team. The goal is to get to the bottom of the Labyrinth, which the main character suspects is 100 floors. They have to fight bosses in the Labyrinth as well, and work together as a team if they want to get through it. As they go further, they find out that they learn skills as they face other monsters. So for example, the Minotaur was in his face with Duress and Roar, and therefore the main character learned Duress and Roar as well. So it works kind of like that, where if you have the aptitude to learn the skill and you're presented with it, you can learn it that way. The main character also receives a sword from the commander because the commander recognizes his strength, and so he gives him a katana. The katana is from this character called the First Hero. The First Hero wielded a blade of light. However, this character is given us a night god blade, Yato no Kami. The Yato no Kami is a very strong blade, obviously, as it's made by the First Hero, and he uses it to get through the labyrinth. However, he finds out that his friends are being cursed by the princess, and so he has to break the curse. But once he breaks the curse by utilizing one of his allies, who is a cleric, she uses what's it called? Poncia to cleanse the curse. Then the character starts acting normal. The friend acts normal, but if they're cursed, they act like huge jerks and they're super pessimistic and everything like that. Anyways, the main character has this thing called shadow magic, which he ends up uses it, blacks out, and then he has to be careful when he uses his shadow magic, but he doesn't really know why. So once he passes out, his mode switches to something called recovery, which is allows him to use the magic that's stored within shadow magic to heal himself. So the shadow magic then ends up killing a boss for him, and then out of nowhere he's like back to normal. So the shadow magic seems very interesting to me. He then finds this elf girl in the labyrinth, and they end up going through it together. Meanwhile, the hero and his classmates all leave to go through their own adventure and defeat the Demon King. Okay? But this character here remembers the... he's longtime friends with the hero and also the main character. So he ends up leaving to go see what the main character's up to, because the main character's all alone, because they think that he murdered the commander, but he didn't. So as he's going down the labyrinth, he finds this dragon. This dragon gets defeated by him and the elf somehow very easily, and it ends up actually being a cat who's the Demon King's errand. The Demon King's errand, in every monster created by the Demon King, is able to be the eyes and ears of the Demon King. However, you can make a bond with these demons, so that way that they're your partner forever. So if you kill them, then you're dead, and then vice versa for the same. They also find out that the elf that they saved is a princess, and she's actually a very powerful warrior. And the reason they know that is because her hair is, instead of blonde, it's silver, and her eyes are red instead of blue. And so her younger sister always hated her for it, and ends up kind of turning the whole castle against her and making her be banished. Anyways, there's obviously a lot more to it, but I tried to summarize 3 volumes pretty quickly. Definitely strongly recommend it. The art was good, as you probably could see. I love the action. It reminds me a lot of Solo Leveling and, there's another word for it. Solo Leveling and Shield Hero, okay? It reminds me a lot of those two things. Especially since the main character is like falsely accused of murder and things like that. So I guess it's a little bit more PC in that way, which is fine. But yeah, definitely worth a read. Lastly, I read 4 One Punch Man. Story by One, art by Yusuke Murata, who does Ice Shield 21's art. You know, of course, the art's amazing. This is pretty much from the Sea King and onwards. So, like, you can see he shows up in this one. And this will cover all the way through Season 1. You know, if you don't know what One Punch Man is by now, you should probably get on it. One Punch Man is great. There's a few extra stories in here as well that cover a few of the OVAs. If you've never watched the OVAs, definitely recommend watching it. But yeah, the art is just so stellar. The animation they do to it is also really cool as well. You can see these pages here are just like full page spreads of like a blast from his punch. The serious punch. I mean, it's just sick. You can read through this like super easy because of it. I mean, the action, it's pretty much just all action and comedy. And if you don't like comedy, you're a jerk. And if you don't like action, well, I don't know why you've ever read a shonen title in your life. Even the cooking manga has actions and shonen titles. So, you know, it seems like pretty crazy. Anyways, that's what I read for this week. What was your favorite thing that I read this week? Did you read along? Are you interested in any of these titles that I read? And tell me how excited you are for this, because you're reading it. It doesn't matter. You know, you have to read it. It's the rules. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a happy holidays for today if you celebrate anything. And stay tuned for this week for the first few hauls of April. I know March is ending on Tuesday, the March haul. Last March haul is Tuesday. April's going to be the first, or Thursday's going to be the first April haul. So we'll see you then, okay? Bye. Hope everyone has a nice day. Forgot to mention what I was going to read this week. So this week I'm going to read One Punch Man, Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, Volume 3 and 4. Quintessential Quintuplets, and if I find anything in my manga haul this week that I unbox, I'll probably read any of those titles. Like Demon Slayer's supposed to come out. I think I got that, for example. So keep your eyes peeled. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.